Welcome to the Underrepresented in Tech podcast, where we talk about issues in underrepresentation and have difficult conversations. Underrepresented in Tech is a free database with the goal of helping people find new opportunities in WordPress and tech. Hello, Samah.
Hello, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. I'm glad. I was thinking about Black Friday because, as you know, when you are in sales, you start thinking about Black Friday long before anybody else starts thinking about Black Friday. Because I'm already starting to submit all of our deals for Stellar WP to all of the different lists of where those deals will reside. And Allie and I talked about this way back, like probably in 2019, about how when you include underrepresented people in your marketing, not only just like in your advertising and so that you see black faces and disabled people and things like that on your ads, but when you include underrepresented people, I can't talk today, in your decision making, in your all of the processes that go along with marketing, and even in your product creation, you can actually increase your bottom line as well. So having a very white-centric, male-dominated, patriarchal, if that's a word, um, non-disabled, thin people, whatever, in all of your advertising, but also in all of your decision making, actually gives you a much narrower market than if you are more inclusive. And that especially goes for accessibility. And so, surprise to no one, we've already talked about this, and Samah has done some research. But it feels like it's a month away. Black Friday is about a month away, and probably less than that. I didn't look to see what it actually is, but it's next month. And so we thought maybe we could give you some advice as to how to make sure that your websites are a little more accessible and a little more appealing to a wider audience. What do you think?
I agree with you 100%. And hopefully, someone who can hear us today and maybe they can do some little bit change in their marketing or even in their website so can reach out to broader audience and to be more inclusive. You sent me a nice information about A11Y or A11Y, which
Yep.
is it's a project. It's a shorthand for accessibility and they name it A11Y because A it's for accessible, 11 it's the letters of the accessibility, and Y because they end with that's the letter that's end of course with accessibility.
Hmm.
And this project is talking about that accessibility in digital design. It's crucial and it's everyone which should focus on it, and project should aims to build more inclusive, accessible digital experience. Because when you want to target border, me, I don't know how to talk today.
Broader. I know we're both in the
Oh, no.
same.
I need a little
We're in the same
broader
boat.
audience because we love each other. It's contagious.
That's right. Across the ocean.
Yeah. It's to reach more audience and be more inclusive. Of course, like um, let's talk about numbers. Disability. I'm going to talk about USA because it was more honestly with the numbers online more I could remember them, and of course the research was focusing on that. Let's
Okay.
disability. 1 in 4 Americans has disability, making accessible technology essential. And for people with disabilities, of course, you have the color, or people with visual impaired, or people has dyslexia, or a lot of of course um, disabilities really broader than what I already mentioned. But
Hmm.
also, of course, they to focus on inclusion. Accessibility ensures inclusion. It's not about adding feature afterwards. It's about removing barrier from the start, enabling equal participation for everyone. Doesn't matter what is your color, ethnicity, difference, background, education. And of course, opportunity, accessibility improve opportunities practically in employment and opens up potential revenue as billions of dollars could be gained by updating accessibility needs. So that's why the A11Y project was really focusing on changing people mind about accessibility in the digital world and making their websites more accessible, then you
Hmm.
will have more customers. I
Yeah.
know I said it very simply, but the product is really, really fascinating.
Hmm.
And of course, we're going to mention the link in our post for deeper dive if somebody wants to know about the AI project's resources and creating inclusive digital experience. But I love it that it was already there. I didn't know about it personally. I'm really happy that you shared it. And it's really important to talk about it now. It's not only talking about um enhanced sense of belonging or being diverse or inclusive in I don't want to say in real life, in physical life, but also it's online in the digital world. How we can make the website more inclusive and think it accessible for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really interesting. We actually do sometimes refer to the ones as L's, right? So it's like an ally. So they
Yeah.
call it, they will abbreviate ally sometimes as well. And we talk about allyship all the time. So I mean, it really does dovetail nicely into all of that. But think about if you have, let's say you have a WooCommerce store out and you
Yeah.
haven't taken the time to write good descriptions about your products. How is a blind person or somebody with low vision expected to choose which of the products that they want if you aren't saying what kind of fabric something's made of, specific color, not just red, but bright red or dull red or, muted or maroon or any of those things. Like we're both wearing red today, but they're
Yeah.
very different reds,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so mine is very vibrant and yours is more sedate, right? So, and now I feel like I'm just like, whoa, look at my shirt. But if you don't give those kinds of descriptions, people don't have an understanding of, what it is that they might be purchasing. It's not always enough. It may be enough when you're doing an alt text, say in Twitter. Let's say you have a mug. I have a mug, right? And it says love wins.
Yeah.
Now, if I just write for a description, that it says love wins on the mug, that might be enough on Twitter. But you saw that mug, it's got rainbows, it's got flowers, it's got all of the different things on it. It's got, yeah, rainbows and flowers all around the words, all capital letters as well. If I'm trying to get somebody to buy that, I need to say more than just it's a mug that says love wins. Because if you don't see the mug, all you're picturing is I don't know what color mug, and
Yeah.
all I know is that there's words on it. I don't know anything else about it. But if I explain that it's very floral, very bright, lots of colors, rainbow colors in there, now you know that that means that Love Wins. It's about the LGBTQ plus community with the rainbows and things like that. On the back, it does say haveagayday.org, right? So that gives you more of a clue as well. But if I don't put all those in the description, how is somebody supposed to know which one of the Love Wins mugs that might be all over the internet that they want to purchase? So that's just a very simple thing about marketing that can make things more inclusive and help somebody make a purchase. And that's not even talking about the technology and making sure that you have all of the things, your navigation and your header numbers, and just there's so much that goes into accessibility on the web. But but as far as marketing goes, very simply, write good descriptions of the products that you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree with you 100%. And also, of course, improving visibility and the SEO content is also, it can enhance your website. Um, um, uh, Me personally, I always, when I buy anything from any company, I look how they design their website or how they targeting their marketing,
Hmm.
let's say, places. It's the other day my sister wants to buy like a sunblock, which is like, then I was checking the company and I find all of the people on the website are white people.
Yeah.
And I said, how can I buy sunblock? Like I don't see anyone looks like me, and I don't see any more information about the sunblock. What is made? What is
Right.
in it? Is it like with the zinc? Is it something in it? And then I'm not gonna mention that I always buy. product from one company because I see different people. They
Hmm.
share a lot of information about the product. Their website is easy to navigate, everything explained, review is there. Then I feel it more honesty. Yes, it's more expensive, but I feel like I want to buy from good company who present
Hmm.
diversity. Who, first of all, of course, they don't believe in modern slavery. They manufacture in Europe. They don't manufacture around the world, and they bring it with cheap labor. And also, when I see, let's say, for the naked eye, I can see there's color people, different
Hmm.
people in their website. That's also something makes me happy. Of course, I cannot share my experience because I'm not blind. Like I never check the
Right.
images things, but I believe that is really important. As you said with a mug, if you don't describe it, if you don't mention it, you're losing a customer. Maybe I'm talking from the side of someone thinking about making business, making money, how you want to reach. Because if you want to tell, I love accessibility. I love to improve things in life. But if you tell people, let's do it from out of good heart, but you can make money if you improve your accessibility,
Hmm.
and it can reach out to broader audience. And also, we have Accessibility Act in Europe.
Hmm.
Starting from next year, there's a law. If your
Yeah.
website is not accessible, then people will start to have a fine, or I think they will shut down the website, or I don't know what they're going to do.
Hmm.
But I was really, really happy about it. Also, it's not only in places like parking spot for disabled people, or this making sure this place on the first floor is accessible for everyone. No, it's only online. Everything should be also accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's and just in advertising itself, I've seen some changes, right? So I think it's really interesting. And I guess I'm going to bring up TikTok again because I'm a plus size person, so I buy clothes for fat people, right? So when I go online and I go to the shops that I like to buy from because I've trial and error find the clothes that I like, I understand their sizing. Their plus size models, and I just made air quotes if you're listening, plus size models are average sized people. They're not skinny people. They're like size 14, size 16 people, which really is more average size than anything. And so I see what a shirt looks like on somebody that still doesn't look like me. But when I'm scrolling TikTok, now they're using average people, they're using actual TikTok like users are buying products and are marketing the products and showing how they look on real bodies. So I can say, oh, I don't like how that dress looks on a person that looks like me, or I do like how those pants look on a person that looks like me. And so I have a much better idea. And using regular everyday people to sell products I mean, I'm getting served up advertising all the time by users, not by TikTok ads, right? And the like
Yeah.
sponsored content, that kind of thing. Or people that just they just want to make some extra money on TikTok, so they're having a shop on there. And so they're showing these different things. And I'm like, I don't like that I'm constantly looking at advertisement, but I do think it's brilliant that they're using everyday people as influencers to show. And because I'm a plus size person, I'm seeing a lot of that content, right? So I get to see what that looks like. And I think that's very, very interesting. The other thing, and this is something Yoast has in their plugin, is the inclusive language. You can toggle on to make
Yes.
to check for inclusive language. When I when you look at advertising, especially around the holidays, it's very, very um, gender specific much of the time. So if there's a drill, it's very much geared towards get this for a man, right? I live alone. Guess what? I own two drills, right? Like, and I am a woman and I have tools. Um, but also, if they usually, and I've said this in many talks that I've given, vacuum cleaners are almost always exclusively marketed to women,
Yeah.
right? So, like, if you see somebody using a blender, it's a woman in a kitchen, not a man in a kitchen using a blender. But guess what? Men make smoothies too, right? So, like, there's the idea of better inclusiveness. And and language around that, like for her and for him. Like anytime I see that something is for her, I understand that they think they're being inclusive by saying, look, we have stuff for women too. But it just
Yeah.
feels so gendered that I'm less likely to look at that. I'm going to seek out the things I want, whether they're for her or him, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Um, I will say that when it comes to clothing, I like the feel of things that are tailored to a woman's body better for myself. But I know plenty of women who prefer to shop in the men's section. So I understand at some level there is some gendering. Um, but I think that when we just present products as they are and don't try to shove them in a certain gendered way, that maybe they'll actually do just fine.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. It's people they think in our inclusive language feature, the analysis, people think it takes a lot of time. No, it's not. It's super easy, but it help your SEO, it help your content
Mhm.
massively. And I agree. I'm the one who's shopping at men's section. I usually you buy the t-shirts like
Yeah.
when it's XXL, then it's kind of like somebody dressed on the beach, you know? Yeah.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
yeah, but yeah, it's sometimes like this focus on, and as you said, like even baking things or the things for female all the time they have to be pink. I hate pink color. It's
I
not
know.
my favorite color in the world. But this target, like this, we're living in 2024. We should stop doing that anymore,
Yeah,
more to just focus on gender. This is for her, this is for him, and
right.
only let's target women here. No, you can target everyone. You don't
Yep.
have to be focusing on one specific market. While if you open for the other market, there's also chances for you to sell something.
Yeah. None of my tools are pink. They
I'm
make
happy.
pink tools for women. None of my
Oh,
tools. And if you're a woman and you absolutely love pink tools, more power to you. Go buy your pink tools. But I don't, I have a regular sized hammer. It's not a dainty little pink hammer because when I want to pound a nail in my wall, I don't want to have to do it with 8 strokes. I want to hit it with twice and it goes where it belongs, kind of thing. But and let's get rid of the illusion that the only people who don't like pink tools that are women are lesbians because that's not true either. Like I like regular tools, right? I like
yeah.
things that are not pink. I have nothing against pink, but I don't have a lot of pink. It's just it is what it is. But um yeah, it's crazy. And the one thing I was thinking of, one of the first things that I noticed when I'll be honest and say that I was one of the people that looked at the inclusive language before it was part of core, before people knew about it. I was asked to take a look at it, and I was super impressed with it. And the sample paragraph that they said that they had you try first before you just like put anything else in said things like boys and girls, right? And so it was like we used to hear all the time boys and girls of all ages, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you say children of all ages, now you have gone to the whole spectrum of gender as opposed to binary gender. And there's nothing wrong with saying children or students or those kinds of things. And I don't hear as much at the beginning of a talk, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, we've started to remove gendered language from those places. Let's take it out of advertising also.
Yeah, it's I think you're talking about it now. I think maybe in Netherlands, it's in Netherlands in the train, because usually when they say like ladies and gentlemen, now they say passengers. When you
Yeah.
go in the train and tell the destination, I found that's is really cool. Like, yeah, we should.
Yeah.
It is like to respect everyone, to make everyone feel welcome, everyone's matters, then just make your message more general.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's boys and girls, pink and blue. This is all my brain thinking now. Pink and blue. Yeah, it's yeah. Me, I don't like. I love tools, but for me, I'm really good in handy things. My husband is not. Well, he should be
Right.
engineer. He's the man. I'm more handy in him in fixing things in the hand. He just
Yeah.
destroy it, I just fix it.
I've mentioned this before. This is a good one about gender too, is
Yeah.
my daughter and her husband, this is before they were married. This was probably 4 years ago or more, but they had a flat tire. And so as they're driving, they had a flat tire. And so they pull off to the side of the road. And John says to her, should we call AAA? And she looked at him crazy and says, why would we call AAA? And he says, to change the tire. She says, don't you know how to change a tire? And he said, no, do you? She said, yes, my mother wouldn't let me drive the car until I learned how to change a tire. And so she taught him how to change a tire. Now, I will say that that was actually rooted in gender because it's not safe for a woman to be on the side of the road at night with a flat tire waiting. You're,
Mhm.
you're sitting prey, right? And so I wanted to make sure that she had the ability to quickly change a tire on her own and get back in the car and back on the road in a safe way. If she chooses to call AAA, she can do that. I gave her AAA also because sometimes you can't solve a problem if your radiator has just exploded or something.
Yeah.
But something as simple as a flat tire, I wanted her to understand how to do that one simple task. And I know how to do that one simple task. I don't know that I'm still capable of doing it now, but I do know how to do it. And so I taught her. And so she called me. Like they get back in the car and they're driving, and she calls me. She's like, "Get," and she tells me the whole story. And he didn't know how to change a tire, and I just taught him how to change a tire. And so, like, let's remove gender from the ability to do
Something, yeah.
what used to be gendered tasks and doesn't have to be gendered tasks. So.
Yeah, it's still even now, like when you say like a company looking for a driver, and most of the application will be men, but sometimes some companies say like we encourage female candidate to apply, and that is like fully respect. They want to bring more diversity because like there's a couple of jobs in the world. They always it's print in our head when we grow up around us the world. The driver, a man, a doctor
Mhm.
mostly a man is not the
Mhm.
nurse is a woman. It's hard you can see a
Yeah.
nurse man.
Hmm.
The handy man, it's not the handy woman, like the one who's fixing stuff in your house, or the painter. It's always a man who's painting your house. It's never a
Hmm.
woman. But yeah, but I also paint. My husband doesn't like to paint. I paint.
See, let's remove gendering from advertising if, as much
Yeah,
as possible. Um, so yeah, I think that if people really take the time to think about the messaging they put out there, that they have inclusive language, they've used inclusive photography, right? So that it's not
yeah,
just a bunch of white people, and that they make sure that that their sites are accessible not only with the technology that people can traverse their site using their keyboard, but that also that the descriptions are um, well defined so that people who are um, who are blind or have low vision have the ability to understand what they're purchasing. I just think that those things are important, and I
yeah.
wanted to us to bring that message today so that as you're preparing to sell things over the holidays and Black Friday and beyond, right? Let's not only tie it to this time of year, but this is when we start to think about those things more that you are broadening your audience. If you only do it to increase your sales, I'm still happy because you've
Yeah.
made the web a more inclusive place. I like it even better if you do it because you want to make sure that you are inclusive for people, but I'll also accept it if you do it just for your bottom line.
I totally agree with you. And please check A11Y or A11Y or Ally for
Yeah,
it's really amazing projects, a lot of information, and everyone, as you said, work on your accessibility in your websites. Yeah.
absolutely. Awesome. Well, I don't know what we're talking about next week, but we will figure it out and we'll come to you with something equal. Well, I don't know if it was to me, every topic is exciting. Maybe some people are
Yeah.
like, they just talked about marketing, but
No, it was exciting today.
was exciting. Listen to them all.
Uh,
But we'll have something for you next week, whatever it is. I hope that you all have a great week.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye, Samah.
Bye. Bye.
If you're interested in using our database, joining us as a guest for an episode, or just want to say hi, go to underrepresentedintech.com. See you next week.